You should know that this is not a replacement for mental health services or therapy. If you are in need of professional services, please visit our website and go under the Finding Help tab. Thank you. At the Epic Foundation, our mission is to provide support, advocacy, and tools of empowerment for chronic illness warriors everywhere and their loved ones to thrive. Empower is defined by making someone stronger and more confident in claiming their rights, and to thrive means to flourish. We have lost many people in the community in a very short period of time. I would like to respond to the question, how do we cope with the loss of our loved ones? How we cope with loss and death in our community is a very difficult topic to talk about. It's tragic how many people we have lost. We try to put the pieces together, and eventually we do. However, the shock of it all never seems to really go away. There are anniversaries, birthdays, other triggers that come about where we remember how we lost those people in our lives. And every trigger of a memory with that person seems to bring the shock of it back all over again. I want to tell you that every feeling that you're having is normal. You're not weird. You're not strange. I know that many people in your life are going to tell you to just move on. Why don't you just get over it? They'll tell you things to make you feel better. But I want you to know that how you're coping is normal. And you have every right to grieve in the manner and at the pace that is comfortable for you. There are several ways that we react when we lose someone that we love or someone dies in our community. The first thing that I've observed is that we ask the question, why? Everyone is just trying to make sense of what happened. How did that person die? Whose fault was it? Did that person die in their sleep? Did the person have a bad experience with a doctor or a hospital? We just try to make sense of it all, and we ask the question why over and over again. We just want answers, and we want them as quickly as possible so that we can make sense of it all. Another response is fear. The death of a loved one or friend elicits anxiety, especially when the person has died with an illness that we live with. We begin to wonder, could this happen to me? A personal example is if someone in the community has died of an adrenal crisis. I start to wonder, can I die in my sleep? Could this happen to me? Another response is survivor's guilt. This is a phenomenon where we feel guilty for being alive. We ask, why did the other person have to die and I didn't? We may even feel guilty for having gotten better physically. The guilt will subside, but it may resurface on that person's birthday or the anniversary of his or her death. Finally, I want to talk about the 5 stages of loss. I've talked about these 5 stages in previous videos. Remember that going through this loss process is not a linear process, meaning that you don't have to experience one stage after another. You can experience any of the stages at any given time, and you can experience those stages simultaneously, many of the stages at the same time. For instance, you might come to a point of acceptance, but then go back to anger or denial. I do want to recap these stages for you. Denial and isolation. This is denial of the fact that the person is gone, isolating, and not wanting to talk to others. Anger. You might be angry at God, yourself, and sometimes you're even angry at the person who has passed away. You may even be angry with the medical system because you feel that they've been neglectful. Bargaining involves believing that some way you could have changed the outcome. What if? Depression involves crying uncontrollably or being saddened a lot of the time. Acceptance. Most people in our lives want us to come to a point of acceptance, but it is a very challenging and difficult thing to do. Acceptance is accepting what is. I'm going over all of these things because I want to validate for you that what you're going through is normal. You don't have to accept a projected view of what someone else thinks about how you should be coping. Only you know what you're going through as you grieve the loss of your loved one or friend. So I want you to remember these things as you cope. It is okay to mourn the loss of your loved one. There might be people who try to rush the process for you, but I cannot emphasize enough that it is okay for you to grieve and to go through the grieving process. Do not rush it or think that there is a right or wrong way to grieve. You might come to a point of acceptance, for example, but then feel sad all over again during the anniversary of the passing of a loved one. A memory might re-trigger feelings of sadness. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness involves being present in every moment. So that means if you have a memory that makes you happy and you feel like laughing, it's okay to laugh. Be present with that emotion. If you're feeling sad or angry, it's okay to be present with those emotions as well. Allow yourself to be present with whatever emotion you're feeling, and the key here is to do it without judgment. This is a time when the community rallies together and supports each other. Work through the guilt. It's important for survivors to understand that they belong here. Finally, reach out to a professional if you need to. On our website, we have a comprehensive list of therapists in your state. It is okay to seek help. Additionally, we at the Epic Foundation are here to provide you with support. You are not alone. We are with you. And together, we are Epic.